In October 2020, I was diagnosed with COVID-19. The nurses at Chesapeake Regional Healthcare made the biggest difference in my care from admitting to discharge. I'm so glad I'm able to pay it forward now with Chesapeake Regional Healthcare's COVID vaccine clinics. It was a completely normal day. I was going about my life like everything was fine. I had no symptoms whatsoever. I felt completely normal. And I received a phone call from my sister-in-law, and she said, "I'm COVID positive. You need to get a test immediately." But I went to a urgent care and they gave me a rapid test and it was positive and I was shocked. So I thought, well, this will be easy. I am going to be completely fine. I'm not sick at all. I'll be one of those people that is feeling fine with COVID and no trouble at all. And then from there, it went downhill very quickly. Every 12 hours for the next 7 days, I got a new symptom. And if you Google the COVID symptoms, I have had every symptom. So we were in constant contact with the physician, the breathing being very heavy on my chest and the coughs. He said it was time to go to the emergency room. They gave me a pulse ox in the emergency department, and they said if my breathing got worse, then I needed to come back. So I went home, my breathing got much worse, my cough got worse. So I came back to the emergency department and they admitted me to Chesapeake Regional. I was here for the next 5 days at Chesapeake Regional. I was on the 5th floor in the COVID ward, and I had the best care I could have ever imagined. The nurses, the care partners, and the doctors, they treated me like family, and it was my family for 5 days. It was the little touches that the nurses and the care partners did that made it really memorable. It was the longest 5 days spent of my life outside of being in the hospital for the birth of my 3 children. I had never been in the hospital for an illness before, so that was very different. I feel like being at Chesapeake Regional made a difference in my care because of the nursing staff. In particular, I had a nurse named Fräulein, and I remember her very distinctly because my favorite movie is The Sound of Music, and I think of Fräulein Maria. And this one nurse, when she came in, I said, "Oh, Fräulein, I love that name." And she was only with me for 1 shift, but she prayed with me. And several times she would say, "Can I pound on your back?" And I thought kind of like, well, that's kind of odd. But she knew I was COVID positive. She knew I was admitted for this illness that was scaring everyone. And she wanted to touch me multiple times. And she wanted to give me that touch because she knew that breaking up that pneumonia in my chest and in my lungs was going to get me out quicker and it was going to heal me. And she knew that it wasn't just the medicine that was going to heal me. It was that physical touch, that she was going to go that extra mile and she was going to help me to get better today and for the long term of this illness. So yes, I think being at Chesapeake made the biggest difference because the nursing staff is always willing to go the extra mile. I can never begin to repay the hospital for how it treated me and my family while I was here. And that's why I knew that when I left, I had to do something to give back for the time I spent here. And I knew it was going to be difficult because I knew I couldn't go back up on 5 West because I wasn't able to. You can't go back up there once you don't have COVID anymore. But I knew that somehow I needed to give back because Chesapeake Regional gave me my life back. I wasn't sure once I went on 5 West if I was going to come off. And that was a real thing for me at the time. So I knew that I wanted to give back in some small way. When Chesapeake Regional started doing the COVID vaccine clinics, I instantly wanted to volunteer. The first clinic when I was able to volunteer, It was really emotional for me because I was so excited to be there. We met lots of great people, and we were all there helping these people come together who were super excited to be there to get their vaccine. Everybody that was coming in line was so eager to get the vaccine. And everybody was like, they didn't care how long they were waiting. And a lot of them were surprised that it was going so fast. Everybody was getting in, getting out quickly, and everyone was just happy to be there. So it was such a fun opportunity to be giving of the time, even though it was away from the workspace that I was used to. It was like a really interesting opportunity to be serving the people of the community in that way, to offer them to get their vaccine. I think it's so valuable that we have a hospital here in Chesapeake. We are the second biggest city in the state of Virginia, and we have so many residents that need its service. And I was just so lucky that we lived 12 minutes from the hospital. I think about how scared I was at home when I was having that respiratory distress. And I thought for a moment that I might even need the ambulance to come pick me up to bring me to the hospital. I ended up coming on my own because I'm very stubborn, and I did have my pulse ox with me, so I was oxygenating somewhat. But I think about those people that are in communities that don't have hospitals near them, and that time that they spend getting to the hospital when they don't have one in their back door. And we're so lucky to have a community hospital. So I feel like we have to continue supporting our community hospital.